as you respond, that you can speak to and ask them that question. That's what this response means. And even if it were accepted that you don't remember now who you had in mind, but you look at that communication now, you have to accept that it does suggest that you had somebody in mind, whether Mr. Magagula or another person that you say you don't remember, but it suggests on its face that you had somebody in mind that you thought you could ask this question or you could pose this question to. Can you at least accept that's what your response suggests?
Yes, I see it, Commissioner. I agree.
You agree it suggests you thought at the time that there's someone you can ask?
Yes.
Thank you.
And Witness K, remember on page 7, you had already said that you need to beg Mr. Magagula. Do you remember the chat on page 7?
Yes.
So that could only have been IPID's Mr. Magagula that you were going to speak to. Not so?
I can't remember.
Okay.
Witness K, just to tie up one issue before we break for lunch, if you go to if I can ask you to turn back to page 8, please, right at the bottom of page 8.
Okay.
Page 8. I asked you if you recall the content of that voice note when you said no, and you see at the bottom there's a missed voice call at 16:33. Do you see that?
On page 8.
Bottom of page 8. The last, yes, there's a missed voice call at 16:33. Do you see that? And if you flip to the top of page 9, please turn over.
Okay.
There's a message there that's cut off, but because these are your screenshots, are you able to read what is there that you said at 16:36?
I think I'm on load shedding, babes.
Thank you, Witness K. Chair, can I propose, it's almost 1 o'clock.
How much longer do you think we're going to be? We're just thinking, should we not finish? But that depends on how much longer you think you're going to be.
Chair, can I ask that we take the lunch adjournment, and I'll try and be as brief as possible once we resume.
I'm not rushing you, no. All right, let's adjourn and resume at 2 p.m.
Thank you, Chair.
Yes, Mr. Kaseri.
Thank you, Chair. Witness K, can I check that you're there, you're with us, and you can hear us?
I can hear you, Advocate.
Witness K, we are still on page 9 in your first file. We're dealing with the chats.
Yes. Okay,
You-
I'm here.
You'll remember just before we closed for lunch, you read out that first message on the top of page 9.
Yes, I did.
I had already taken you through the 2 messages that follow that, as well as
Okay.
your response at 17:31 on page 9. Are we together?
Yes.
Thank you. The message immediately below that says, "Hi dear, okay, so tomorrow morning we meeting with our attorney at 10 for our statements. Our attorney is now saying we must not give statements, but we don't know why. We will find out in the morning." Officer Stolz then says, "So if possible, will you have an answer before 10 in the morning? Because what I'm worried about is Magagula is delaying with you so he can still get our statements and make a deal." What is Officer Stoll saying she needs an answer from you about before 10 in that message?
I can't recall well, but maybe he wanted to know about my statement. When am I submitting my statement and all that?
And that answer wouldn't have to do with the issue of the SAP 13 that you had just been discussing the day before.
It's okay. If not, it should be about my statement. When am I submitting my statement?
But had you been approached to submit a statement at that point?
No, not yet.
So why would she have the view that it was about you submitting your statement, if at that point you hadn't been?
Okay, can I read this paragraph again? I'm sorry. I can't recall well
All right, witness.
when I answered.
All right.
Yes.
Witness K, immediately beneath that last text, you will see the date of 11 May 2023. That's at the bottom of page 9.
Yes, I see it.
You send a message at 4:51 where you say morning, okay. So you're responding to the message before. And
Yeah.
Officer Stolz then sends you a message later that evening, 19:24, where she says, "Hi, Han, please read through and then let me know what changes you want me to make." Please turn over the page.
Okay.
You see that document copied
Yes, I
in the
see
body
it.
of page 10. What is that document? Do you recognize it?
Yes, it's the warning. It should be the warning statement.
And so by sending those 2 images of the warning statement to you, Officer Stolz is saying to you, please read through and let me know what changes you want me to make.
Yes, I can see that.
Witness K, if you turn over the page to page 11,
Yes, I'm there.
you see at the top of the page something is cut off, and it's a continuation, if you look, of the document at page 10.
Yes, I see
You
it.
see that it's stamped 1924. So both the pictures there are stamped 1924.
Yes, I see.
At the top of page 11, at 1944, you respond to the warning statement and you say, "Hi, can't you say informer instead of JMPD officer?" Are you there?
Yes.
Now that reference to JMPD officer is a reference to you. You've confirmed that earlier.
Yes. Yes,
So-
I did.
So now you are asking Officer Stolz to change the part of her warning statement where she mentions you, and you're saying instead of mentioning the officer, the JMPD officer. So you're proposing here, instead of saying JMPD officer, informer, say informer. And let me ask you, what's the reason for proposing that change? What is the motivation? Why did you want her to say informer as opposed to identifying the fact that there was a JMPD officer involved? Is it because
I was
you didn't...
afraid to be.
Please continue.
Okay, I'm sorry. I meant to say I was afraid. I was afraid to be in trouble at work.
So
If he submits this says JMPD officer, it means that Makakula must come to our office and look for me.
And so you proposed this because you didn't want to be identified as a result of the warning statement by Officer Stolz.
Yes.
Can I then ask you to go to the message immediately below that? She says to you, in which part? 1944. She says to you, in which part? So just for context, the message before you say, hi, can't you say informer instead of JMPD? And she then says to you, in which part? Do you see that?
Yes, I do.
Do you see there's another message there that say, and say we booked them at SAP 13? I'll come back to that message. Do you see the message
Okay.
immediately beneath that, where you say where you got the info from?
Yes.
Do you see that message? Now, do you see the top of the message where it says K Juju, and it highlights her question to you, in which part?
Yes, I see it.
And then your response is where you got the information from.
Yes.
So by asking Officer Stolz to change from JMPD to informer, it's because you didn't want it to be identified that she had gotten the information from you, the JMPD officer. Is that right?
Yes.
Now, Witness K, that's the first proposal you made to Officer Stolz. But if we just go back one line to the message at 1944, where you say, and we booked them at SAP 13. Do you see that?
Yes, I do.
Actually, I misread that. You say, and say we booked them at SAP 13. But that can't be correct. Nothing was booked at SAP 13. Is that right?
Yes.
And so you were proposing that Officer Stolz say that something was booked at SAP 13, knowing that it wasn't.
Yes.
Witness K, can I ask you to go a little bit lower on the page where you say at 1945, let me finalize the Rosebank 13 tomorrow and book the stones. Then we are sorted. You then say to her in the next line, please don't give now the statement till you get the SAP 13. Where was Officer Stolz supposed to get the SAP 13 from you? Where was she supposed to get the SAP from? Was she not supposed to get it from you, from a reading of that message?
Yeah, the way I wrote it,
Suggests.
it's so different to.
Please continue.
I'm saying the way I wrote it, it's so different to my thinking actually of how will I do this.
Let me ask it this way, Witness K. Witness K?
Yes, okay.
Let me ask the question this way. At 1945, you say, let me finalize the Rosebank 13 tomorrow. That is a reference to SAP 13, is it not?
Actually, it was for me to get the stones first, and then we can do anything after.
Indeed, but if we speak about the after, so if we leave the issue of the stones and we speak about the after, when you say, let me finalize the Rosebank 13 tomorrow, that has to be a reference to the SAP 13. So you're saying, let me finalize the SAP 13. And then in the next message, you say to her, don't give the statement until you get the SAP 13. Is that a fair reading of your message there?
Yes, it is.
If I can then, let's move to the,
According to this, you are going to arrange the SAP 13. The Rosebank SAP 13. That's what this message says.
Yes. Yeah. That's how I wrote it, yes.
That's what you're communicating, or that's what this communicates. You were responsible to arrange the Rosebank SAP 13 and then to book the stones in. That's what you're conveying here.
Yes.
Thank you.
thank you, Commissioner. Witness K, still on page 11, the second last message from the bottom of the page. Officer Stoll says, I can't say an informant called me and I acted on their info, because remember, it's out of my area. But your statement can say that you got the info from an informant and you booked it into the SAP 13. You see that?
Yes, I do.
Is that a response to your question where you say, can't you say informant instead of JMPD officer? So Officer Stolz is replying to say, no, I can't, because in fact I was acting outside of my area. And you can say that you got the information.
Okay.
And the last text message on that page, you see there's a message there from you to her where you say, please don't give now the statement till you get SAP 13. And she responds to say, I have to hand in the statement at 10, otherwise Magagula is coming to arrest us.
Yes, I see that.
Thank you. Witness K, if you're now on page 12, the two of you continue to discuss the issue of the statement. Do you see the, can I draw your attention to the third last message from the bottom of the page? Third last message from Officer Stolz.
Yes, I see it.
At 1950.
Okay.
She says to you, I'm sure that nothing will come from this if you can get through to whoever is the IPID investigator for Johannesburg. You then respond and you say, okay, we'll update you. Let me ask you, what did you understand her to mean when she says, I'm sure that nothing will come from this if you can get through to whoever is the IPID investigator? What does she mean by get through to the IPID investigator for Joburg?
I think, okay, we were supposed to get IPID people from Joburg side, because I think Makakula was coming from East Rand side. So if I had somebody in Joburg from IPID who can help us with this matter.
And help you how? So if Officer Stoll says nothing will come from this if you can get through to an IPID investigator, what did you understand that help to be? Making the case go away, or what kind of assistance?
Well, I can't remember well here what we really needed from the IPID guy, the one in Joburg.
Except to say that you were going to request them for help with the case. Is that right?
Oh, I can't remember.
Thank you, Witness K.
Can I suggest what it looks like? Witness K, it looks like you were being tasked to influence IPID or someone at IPID to get this case dropped or not going anywhere. That's what it looks like. And it is consistent with why you got the business card of Mr. Magagula and the earlier message where you were sent to find out whether if these officers resigned, that would make Magagula happy. So you were responsible to find someone that would corruptly bring this case to an end. That's what it looks like. In fact, in so many words. And I'm not quite convinced with your you don't remember. This was very important. You and these people were facing the possibility of arrest and prosecution, and you were clearly from these communications talking about how to squash this investigation, and therefore to bring any possible charges to naught. It can't be that you don't remember what you were supposed to do with IPID. Maybe at the time you may not have known people in IPID, you didn't know who you would talk to, but what is clear from this communication is your task was, and what you were undertaking, was that you would speak to someone at IPID that would bring this investigation against you and therefore charges to an end. That's what it is, in your own words. Do you want to comment?
No, I'm saying it is true, Commissioner.
Yes, thank you. Thanks, Mr. President.
Thank you, Commissioner. Witness K, we can then turn over to the next page, please, page 13. You will see there at page 13, there's a block at the top of the page that says 12th of May, 2023. That's the date on which the warning statements are due, is it not? Yes. And
Okay.
you see there, the first block is a message from yourself, and you say, "Good morning, just a thought. An informant doesn't have specific area where he or she gets information for issue. I think let's not point each other out, because it will result to case being more strong. Mine must state the ending of the stones. I can't say what happened as well, because fire will be out, hell will break loose." In the next paragraph you say, "I think state that information came from informant and a 299 was done. Don't mention being handed over to me. A lot will be mentioned later. As you say at the end of your statement, make it short for now. Sorry for the inconvenience." So this is you providing your views to Officer Stolz about what she should put into that statement. Is that right?
Yes.
And you are saying to her, let's not point each other out, i.e. you're saying to her that she mustn't identify you in the warning statement.
Yes, because I think from her statement, she mentioned that she gave the stones to me, something like that. So I didn't want her to mention that on her statement, because if she's stating that she gave the stones to me, I must also state at the end of the day that after receiving those stones, there was an exchange of money and she also benefited. So if she says this, I'll also say this to her. I'll also say this about her. So rather, she mustn't mention me, because if she mentions me, at the end of the day, it will lead to what happened to the stones at the end of the day.
Witness K, you recall that I took you to the statement earlier of Officer Stolz. And
Yes.
you noticed that she didn't change the statement. There was a referral still in the statement to a JMPD officer. Did you see that?
Yes.
So when you, at the bottom of that first paragraph, when you say, I can't say what happened as well because all hell will break loose, what do you mean by that?
In her statement, she's not mentioning how many people were involved in this statement. She's not mentioning Mr. Mkwanazi. So if I had to write my own statement, I was going to be honest and mention all the people who were involved in this information.
And so please continue.
I'm saying that's what I meant, because with her, she's only mentioning me. She's not mentioning Mr. Mkwanazi. And I was not going to leave it like that. I was going to mention everyone who took part on that day.
Thank you, Witness K. If you just go further down that page, she responds to you at 4:46. She says, I will call you just now. Did you receive that call from her, either through WhatsApp or through other means? At the bottom of page 13, she highlights your message and she says, I will call you just now.
Yes, I see it, but I think it was still early in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt if she did call
you. And
especially in these early hours.
And the message immediately beneath that, Officer Stoll says, have you not made any movement with Magagula? And she says, we have made plans to sort out the DPP that side when the case goes. With reference to the first part of that paragraph, where she says, have you made any movement with Magagula? She's obviously referring, as she did before, to whether you've managed to speak to him or reach him. Had you in fact made any movement with Magagula?
No, I didn't do anything.
At that point in time, which is May of 2023, had you ever spoken to Mr. Magagula? Had you met him at that point in time?
No, I didn't.
That last sentence where Officer Stoll says, we have made plans to sort out the DPP that side when the case goes. DPP can only be Director of Public Prosecutions, is that right?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure. So what do you understand by the sentence, we have made plans to sort out the DPP that side when the case goes? What do you understand her to be meaning with that sentence?
To have their case taken out of the court roll.
Okay. And Witness K, according to you, who has the power to have a case taken off the court roll?
It's not the prosecutor. I'm not sure.
Thank you, Witness K.
The investigating officer. It should be the investigating officer.
No, DPP is not the investigating officer. It's the public prosecutor. And what she's telling you is that they have made arrangements with a DPP this side. And I'm sure you will still get there. It is repeated further on. You don't ask who is the DPP. So I want to suggest to you that you knew and understood that she's telling you that they have someone in the office of the public prosecutor that side. Would be likely Johannesburg, but you understood what she's conveying to you. This you're now saying would be the investigator is not correct. It can be. You know DPP is the public prosecutor.
Okay.
Yes, Ms. Mutlasel.
In this case, you knew that the investigating officer was IPID. You knew it was Mr. Magagula. So they can be referring to another investigating officer.
Oh, okay.
And what do you mean by... finish your sentence?
No, I'm saying my apology. It just said other messages I can't recall. I'm even checking the times, what time she sent it, what time did I reply, and yeah, sorry.
And what do you mean by okay in response to the question by Commissioner Baloyi? What does okay mean? I would have,
No, I'm saying
I would have understood if you said you agree.
Yes, I do agree when she says DPP, it is public prosecutor.
And also that you knew exactly what Ms. Stolz was talking about with regard to the DPP. Hence, you did not ask who that was. You agree with that as well?
No, I can't say I do. I do agree. Just that the time she sent it, and
But why?
My response late.
Why would you
I
not
don't
have?
know.
Why would you not have asked who she was talking about?
I'm checking the time she sent the message. It was 10 to 5, and I only came back to her 6:30 in the morning.
But when you came back to her, you were still responding to the last thing she had said, or not?
Maybe I was just responding so that I can just respond so that she mustn't say I'm ignoring her and all that. I didn't read that message with understanding.
You did not read that text, you say?
I did read, but not with understanding. I can't tell what happened that day because I'm just trying to remember.
This is hard to believe, witness K. This is hard to believe. You can't answer for the sake of answering because you say you were just responding. You can't respond for the sake of responding, can you?
Okay, when I check my message here, it's like this one, the one that she says, have you not made any movement with Magagula? It's like on our chats, I didn't respond to that. I only responded to the next message she sent at 5:12, where she says, "Is there no way to sort out the SAP 13? Then we don't need to submit any statement at." Then I only responded to that. Okay, let me get someone at 13 then. It's like I only responded to this one of DPP. I don't know what happened.
Yes, Ms. Muslasedi.
Thank you, Chair. So, Witness K, when you respond there at 6:29 on page 14, when you say, okay, let me get someone at 13 then, you are meaning that you were then going to make an attempt to find someone who could assist you with the SAP 13 register. Is that not so?
Yes, I think it was like that. It's just that with Officer Keisha, I won't say she was on my nerve, but it's someone who kept on calling, and if you don't answer her, it will be as if I'm avoiding her or I got what I wanted. Then she's on her own and all that. So I think sometimes I will just answer just for her to think that I am working on it, even though I know that I was not doing any research of someone working at SAP 13 and all that.
That's not entirely true. What I see here is that you were trying to save your skin because she was not prepared to say that it was an informer that had started all this, and you were pushing her to say that, and you were saving your skin because she wanted to say it was you that started it, and you did not want her to say that. So you were actually engaging her throughout, and what you were looking out for was your own interest. You did not want her to say, you started it all. What do you say?
Okay, I acknowledge, Chairperson.
Does that mean you agree? Does acknowledgement mean agreement?
It's just that I can't remember actually all these conversations and all
No,
my up and downs.
but
So
Ms. Musha said is taking you. Ms. Musha said is taking you through it, so you can't say you don't remember. You see it now, and as you see it, surely you remember what was going on. And I've just suggested to you that part of what we've seen is that you are pushing as hard as possible, and I think it's more than once, for her not to mention a JMPD officer who was obviously you, and you've agreed that that was reference to you. You were pushing hard for a JMPD officer not to be mentioned, but rather that it should be said it was an informer. So you were actively involved in this. Don't try to give us the impression that at times you would just be responding for the sake of it. You were closely on the lookout to look out for anything that just might implicate you. Is that not correct?
It is correct. It's just that maybe I was not happy. Why does she only want to include me and not include all the members who took place
Exactly.
on the information?
Exactly my point. Exactly my point. You did not want to be included. But you said you agree. All right, thank you. Yes, Ms. Muhlasedi.
Thank you, Chair. If we can move on, Witness K, we're still on page 14. You say there at 6:29, you say, okay, let me get someone at 13 then. Who is that person at 13 that you're saying you're going to get?
Yes, that's what I said. Yes.
Who is the someone that you are referring to? The person at 13 that you are referring to there?
I didn't have anyone at SAP 13 back then. I was just answering her.
And so when you say you're going to get someone at 13, so if you're saying you didn't have someone, but you're saying in the sentence that you're going to get someone, that suggests you're going to make an effort to get someone then.
Yes, that's how it is.
And how would you go about getting someone at SAP 13? How would you go about something like that?
I was not going to do anything. I was just answering her.
You were just answering her for the sake of answering her?
Yes.
That can't be what was going on. You are at risk of losing your job. You are at risk of being prosecuted. You were operational. You were a traffic officer, so you know the people at Rosebank Police Station. I think we can accept that. You can contradict me, but I want to assume or take it as a given that in the normal course of the discharge of your functions in the JMPD, you would have worked and have some contacts and relationships work relationships with people in Rosebank Police Station. So as you consistently talk about collecting the stones, remember you did say to us that you were hoping to collect the stones from Mr. Simon, have them entered in the SAP 13 form, and then register and then take it to police station. Somehow you say you were thinking you would do that. So you were not just answering here. You still were thinking that there is a way. You still believed there was a way where you could pull this off. Surely.
But I didn't have anyone at that time. I didn't know anyone.
Are you telling us that at the time? Are you telling us that you've never had relationships, whether working or otherwise, with the police at Rosebank?
No, I don't. I don't have communication or contact
So
with anyone at Rosebank.
So when you started earlier, remember in your testimony earlier, you said your plan was you would collect the stones. You remember that exchange where we asked you, so were you going to pay back the money You said your idea was you would collect the stones and then get the SAP 13 completed at Rosebank, even though it was late. You must have had a plan of how you were going to go about it. This was not you just saying. This was still part of your plan. Maybe you were going to fail, but that was still the plan. Your plan was you were going to, in a corrupt way, have the SAP 13 at Rosebank completed. I don't, speaking for myself, I don't accept your explanation that you were just responding about this SAP 13 thing. No, you were not just responding. You were thinking and hoping that you would be able to achieve it. You can comment if you want to.
No, it's true, Commissioner.
In fact, Witness K, it was you who told Keshali Stalls that she must not submit her statement until you have this SAP 13. So you knew that a statement was imminent and it has to be given to IPID. And you had given her assurance that you will get the SAP 13 before she submits her statement. So it cannot be correct to say you were just playing around. You had no intention of going ahead with obtaining or rather making sure that the exhibits are booked on the SAP 13.
No, I acknowledge my apology.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner. Witness K, if we then move on to the message immediately thereafter, I'll read it for you. Officer Stoll says, "We will brat this, I promise you. We know the white guy who opened the case isn't clean either." You then respond and you say, "Okay, dear, true." She then says, I meant to say we will beat this, not brat. There's some emojis there and she says, "I stress." The second sentence there, she says, "But we already have someone at DPP as well." And when you saw that message where she says she has somebody at DPP, what did you understand that to mean? Especially in light of your response where you say no harm. So what did you understand her to mean when she says we already have someone at DPP JHB as well?
I don't want to lie. You know, when I see this word DPP, my mind just go blank. I can't remember. I don't want to lie. I can't recall what came in my mind as I was replying. I don't want to lie.
So, Witness K, you'll remember that on the page before, Officer Stolz had told you that we have made plans to sort out the DPP that side when the case goes. So she's clearly saying there's a plan, and that plan involves somebody in the office of the DPP, and it relates to the case. So where we're reading now, she's confirming to you what she already said before, which is we already have someone at the DPP. Is that not so?
Yes, I see it.
And can I ask you, just the message above that, when Officer Stolz said to you at 6:30, "We know the white guy who opened the case isn't clean either," your response to her was, "Okay, dear, true." What are you saying is true there? Why is she saying the white guy who opened the case isn't clean either?
I can't remember, but
You can't recall.
No, I can't recall, sorry.
But you agreed with her when she said the white guy who opened the case isn't clean either. Is that a fair reading of that message, that you agreed with her?
Yes, I did agree.
You also agreed with her, you also reply there at 6:33 when she says to you, "I meant to say we will beat this," and she says, we already have someone at DPP, you then say no harm and we'll keep on praying. So when you say no harm, is that to be read with her message and you're saying there's no harm in having somebody at DPP as well? How do we read those two messages together?
Yeah, I think I was replying to that.
And if you go
But
down,
sorry?
if you go down
Okay,
that witness K,
okay, no, I'm listening.
okay. If you go to the bottom of the page at 6:35, Officer Stoll says, those rocks, he won't ever get a permit for it, right? So he can never claim it from SAPS anyway. And you respond there to say, true. What do you mean? What do you mean by that? That because there was no permit, he couldn't claim it. What do you mean when you say to her that's true?
I think I meant even if we book those stones at SAP 13, he cannot go to the police station and ask for those stones back because he didn't have any paperwork with him.
Even though at that point in time you hadn't booked the stones. Do you accept that?
Yes, I do.
And that last sentence at the page, Officer Stoll says to you, we just need to get someone who can make the case go away. Do you see that?
Yes, I do.
If you turn the page to 15, the message is repeated again at the top. It says, we just need to get someone who can make the case go away. And the first two words that you respond to there, you say, will get. You see that?
Yes, I see.
And what do you mean by that? By will get, in respect of her saying you need somebody who can make the case go away? Are you suggesting that somebody who can make the case go away will be found? What does that mean?
Can I read it? I'm sorry. I think I meant we will get someone who will help us, but I don't know who was in mind at the time.
So you do confirm that you were saying you will get someone who will help you or who can make the case go away. Is that what you meant there?
Yes.
And when you said will get, do you mean you will get or who will get?
I just said we'll get, I think, us maybe.
Who's us?
Yeah, maybe me, her, Mackenzie, Mr. Nkwanazi, and Van der Veld. We will get someone who can help.
You will jointly get someone who can help to make the case go away.
I think, yes.
Thank you, Witness.
Yes, Advocate.
Thank you, Witness K. So, in the balance of that page, you exchanged some messages with Officer Stolz, but I won't take you through those in detail.
Okay.
If we can go to page 16. If you see the date on the top of that page is cut off, but if you just flip back to the bottom of page 15, do you see that the date is the 16th of May? Is that right?
Yes.
Thank you. And there's a message at 13:33 from Constable Stolz, and she says, "Hi, Han, Magagula is bugging my attorney for your name and contact number." And you say, "Hi, Ish." You see that?
Yes.
And the next message from her, she says, "This man, he had hidden agendas, I am telling you." And you then say to her, "He wants my names now, question mark." And she says, "And number, yes." So this point, Officer Stolz is informing you that the investigating officer on the matter has requested your name and contact number.
Okay.
Do you know if she ever did give the number to him?
I don't know if Officer Keisha, she gave the number to Makakula. I don't know. I'm not sure.
And has he ever called you, Inspector Magagula?
No, he didn't. No, he didn't call me.
So the final message is there. Officer Stoll says, what I don't understand is why he is still investigating this. He doesn't do JHB unless he is planning something for tomorrow because we're in court tomorrow. And she then says to you, I'm going to have to give him your number. Ish, this man likes arresting us. And your response to her is, okay, dear. She then says to you at the bottom of page 16, I want to first find out if it must be on a statement, because it can't be right, me just giving him your number. You see that?
Yes, I see it.
Thank you. And if I ask you to turn to the final page, which is page 17, there is an excerpt there. There's a screenshot of a document.
Okay.
Are you able to identify that document?
Yes, I can see it.
Do you recognize it? Do you know what that document is?
Yes.
What is it, Witness K?
It's a warning statement again from Keisha Stolz.
So is it the same statement that she had shared with you earlier in the chat, or is this a different one?
It looks like
It
page
should be the
13.
different one.
It looks like page 13 of the other file that we looked at.
Okay.
So if you go to the annexes file,
Yes, I'm
exhibit
going
bundle
there.
on page 13, if you start from the paragraph that says we went to Rosebank subs, it's the next 4 paragraphs of the same document.
Okay, I'll check it now. Okay, we want to use being substance in front. They going to be. Okay. 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 Oh, yes, it should be the same thing.
Thank you, Witness K.
I'm here, advocate.
Thank you. Chairperson, we have no further questions for this witness, unless there's anything further.
Thank you, Ms. Mutlasedi.
Witness K, am I correct that at the time of the incident in February 23, you were a JMPD officer, right?
Yes.
And JMPD, you have a code of conduct applicable to JMPD officers, and you also take an oath when you become a JMPD officer. Am I correct?
It's true, Commissioner.
As you were doing what you were doing that day with these 4 people, surely you must have known that you are violating the oath and the code of conduct, and you are breaking the law.
It's true, Commissioner.
And in your communication with Keisha Lee Stolz, the upshot of all that communication is that you were asking her to lie in her statement to IPID because you did not want her to say anything to IPID that might implicate you. Is that not so?
It is.
And what became of that statement? Do you know? Did you and Kesha Lee Stalls finally agree on what should go to IPID as a final statement?
No, I didn't get the statement of Mackenzie at that time. I only got the statement of Stalls.
Yes, I'm talking about Stalls. Did the two of you eventually agree on her final statement that should be submitted to IPID?
I think she wrote it the way it is, and then she told me that she has sent it, and then she made me to read it like this.
Yes. And was that the last conversation you had on the IPID investigation?
Yes.
And you don't know if a prosecutor was reached or persuaded to make sure that the case goes away, because that was the substance of your discussion with Kesha Lee Stalls, that the DPP will be approached. They've got a person that side who can make the case go away. You're not aware that that was done?
No, I was not aware. I only heard later that they were arrested for some offenses that side at their area, and they were found with some of the stones in their possession. Yes. When the arrest took place.
Yes, and then did you... Sorry to interrupt you, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, so I don't know if they arrested them for the stones in other previous cases, or what was the arrest all about.
Yes.
I only knew later that they were arrested that side.
And then finally, did you manage to get the stones back so that they can be booked in the SAP 13?
No, I didn't.
What became of your discussion with the person that you sold the stones to?
No, I didn't get them back.
Yes, what became of that discussion? How did it end? Did it end with you giving up, or were you still persuading him to give you the stones so that they can be booked?
After their arrest, we didn't communicate after, so I also didn't communicate with the informer this side.
Yes,
I just left everything.
I appreciate that Mackenzie and Kesha Lee Stalls were arrested, but you were now worried about your own fate, because if they were arrested, you might be next. What steps did you take to ensure that the stones are recovered so that at least you cover your back? That's really what I'm getting at.
Oh, no, I didn't do anything, Commissioner.
So you accepted that what will follow will follow. I won't get into the details.
Yes, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes. Witness K, you said in your evidence, and I think in your statement, that, and please correct me if I'm wrong in my recollection of your testimony, you said that you took the stones to Mr. Simon, or to Simon. Is that correct?
Yes.
And he then said he was taking them to his boss to check the quality or what stones they were. Am I correct in remembering your evidence that way?
Yes.
Okay. And then after that, you say, what happened with those stones? Did he keep them and give you money? Can you just explain that again? I just want to make sure that I understood.
Okay. He took over the stones on Saturday, and then on Saturday, he took the stones on Saturday. On Sunday, he came back with the agreed amount of 110, and then we shared it equally amongst the five of us.
Okay. Now, we have had evidence from Mr. Magagula that he found stones in the motor vehicle of Mackenzie. You may not be aware of that, but we got that kind of evidence. Now, if what you're saying, if your sequence of what happened with the stones is that you took them to Simon and Simon then came back and gave you money, that doesn't seem to be to accord with stones being found on Mackenzie.
Okay, I think on the day they didn't hand everything to Mr. Simon. They keep some.
You know that?
In the car.
Okay. So you know that. What I'm checking with you is what, if anything, do you know about the fact that some stones were found in Mackenzie's motor vehicle, if in fact things happened the way you described them, which is the stones were given to you, you then gave them to Simon, and he gave you money?
I'm sorry, can you repeat your question?
What I'm asking is what do you know about the fact that some stones were found on Mackenzie? On the face of it, it seems to suggest that Mr. Simon was not given all the stones, and yet you say you're the one that gave him the stones. Do you know why Mackenzie or how Mackenzie would have ended up with some stones if they were given to Simon by you?
Okay, I didn't know that they still had some stones in their possession.
Okay, maybe the answer lies in you got the stones from Mackenzie and Stolz. After they took them in their apartment, they gave them to you.
No, we met at Cyril Dean, and then they gave the stones to Mr. Simon.
I see. So they never gave them to you. They gave them directly
No.
to Mr. Simon from the apartment. They gave them straight to Mr. Simon. The stones never came to you.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
If as alleged, in fact, it's not even a case of being alleged. Everybody knows the stones were taken, and whether it was either robbery or theft by false pretenses. So in the end, it seems that either two or at least one of the thieves then kept some of the stones. Looks like it was a classic case of there being no honor amongst thieves, Witness K. Witness K, you said that you were told by Mr. Simon about these stones. I think you said about 6 months previously, from the time that you eventually told Brigadier Mkwanazi about them. I find it very difficult to believe that you were given this information by someone who wanted to lay their hands on the stones, and you just kept quiet for 6 months. I find it very, very difficult to believe that. Is that true?
Yes, it is true.
And why did you keep quiet for 6 months about the stones?
I was not in the unit where I can participate in such information anymore.
And when you did, were you in that unit? When you eventually did?
No, I was out already.
So the answer you've just given is no answer at all then, because you were able to do something even though you were not in that unit. So you've not answered my question. Why did you not do anything for 6 months? Will you answer, or should I move on? Witness K, will you answer, or should I move on?
Can you move on?
You have said, and I think this was in response to questions by Commissioner Baloyi, that all that Mr. Simon had done on previous occasions was to give you information relating to criminality, and that what the two of you wanted to do was to address the criminality and bring to book whoever had committed criminal wrongdoing. Remember giving that response to Commissioner Baloyi?
Yes, I do.
And you also said to Commissioner Baloyi that Mr. Simon, or rather the two of you, had never been involved in deals of this nature. Remember saying that?
Yes, I do.
Can you, or let me ask this first, how close were you to Mr. Simon?
Can you repeat the question?
How close were you to Mr. Simon? How close were you to him?
It was just, if he had information, he will call and check if can I do that information for him, or can I look for other people
So
that
it
who
was,
can do it.
So it was work related. He was your informer, as it were.
Yes.
Period.
Yes.
Nothing else. Nothing more.
Nothing more.
Now, can you tell me how he could suddenly have been so comfortable with you to make the suggestion that he made 6 months previously? Just on what basis could that happen?
It's just that he gave me information and I kept it on myself until I phoned him back.
No.
I found.
Oh, continue. He gave you
Okay,
info?
I think yes, I knew him for a long time, so that even when he gave this information, I didn't pass it to anyone until I spoken to Mr. Mkwanazi. Then he asked me that
That's not
can
answering.
I contact the.
Can you contact who?
the Mr. Simon and check if those stones are there on that flat, and then he can do that information.
That's not
for him.
answering. That's not answering my question. My question is, at the time that Mr. Simon approached you 6 months previously, and approaching you with something different this time around, not just the provision of information for purposes of pursuing criminals. So it's something totally different. He says to you, someone is unlawfully in possession of these stones, and I'm paraphrasing, and I want to lay my hands on them. You do nothing about it for 6 months. But my question is, if your relationship was work-related and you were not close, because that's my sense, that you were not close. So if your relationship was work-related, what would suddenly have made him to have the comfort of approaching you in the manner in which he did, which now was about doing something unlawful? Why would he suddenly have had that comfort? That's my question, not what you answered.
Oh, okay. My apology.
No problem.
I don't know
But
if
please answer the question then.
yeah, I'm not sure if he was trying his luck to test if I can do the information or not.
And he was indeed lucky, and if he found you compliant, even if your compliance was only 6 months later, so he was lucky enough to just find you compliant, or pliable, or malleable.
Yes, Chairperson.
So sheer luck. Sheer luck. Or mere luck. Is that what you are is that what you are suggesting?
Yes, Chairperson.
Thank you.
Witness K, there's just one thing I forgot to ask you, and it relates to the issue of the permit. If it was necessary for the owner of the stones to be in possession of a permit, why were you so comfortable to sell them to Mr. Salmon, who clearly would not have had a permit to be in possession of the stones?
At the time of the information that happened, all we needed was the benefit after the information. My apology.
So all you care about was to rob somebody and sell the stones to Mr. Salmon and get the cash. That's all you are interested in.
It's true, Commissioner.
So you were not concerned about whether the owner has a permit or not. What you really wanted was to rob him of his stones and give them to somebody else. Is that so?
Yes, Mr. Commissioner.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Witness K. You are excused. Thank you. We adjourn and resume at 9:30 tomorrow.
Indeed.
Let's adjourn.
you.